And smile. And Julia, move your bottom arm up a little. Just a little. No, too much. Right there. And back up. One step. Right there. Perfect.
Come here, bud. Come here. Ready? Smile. Look, you did so good. You're walking.
Look at the picture, Charlie.
Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday, dear Amani.
Birthday to you. 1, 2, 3. Say cheese.
Hey guys, let's take a picture. I see the photo maker. I guess we'll look.
Awesome. Hey, let's grab a selfie.
Yeah, let me have fun.
Boiler up.
Oh my gosh. Remember when it was just girls?
So I'm thinking, let's do it again. Come on. Yeah, how adorable you were. You still out.
Oh my gosh.
Mr. President, the candidates are assembled.
Morning, everyone. Today we're gathered in formal convocation to celebrate the 245th commencement exercises at Purdue University. Please rise and join Kristen Zoller in singing our national anthem, then remain standing for the invocation offered today by Pastor Rodney Lynch of the Baptist Student Foundation.
Stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, on the rocky turret glare, the bombs bursting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Good morning. Let us pray. Gracious Creator of the universe, who is love and who has brought us together on this glorious day, we give you thanks for gathering us today in harmony with one another. And therefore, on this magnificent occasion, we set aside whatever separates us to gather as one body of people before you. Divine One who is merciful and gracious, slow to anger and abounding in mercies, we thank you. We thank you for your unconditional love, your immeasurable grace, and your everlasting mercies towards us. We thank you for sustaining us throughout this academic year and through our entire college career here at Purdue. We thank you for the faculty, staff, administrators, and the faith communities who have supported and influenced these students to do their excellent work. Loving God, for this occasion, we ask that you be a comfort to those of us for whom this is a difficult day due to loss, sorrow, regret, or even deep alienation. Be our peace, be our strength, be our joy today as we hear from all who have been summoned to speak. Open our hearts and minds, spirits, to receive what they have to say on this day. This we pray to the God of connectivity. Amen.
This is the moment, this is the day, this is the moment when I know I'm on my way. Every endeavor I have made ever is coming into play, is here and now today. This is the moment, this is the time, when the momentum and the moment are in rhyme. Give me this moment, rest. This is the day, just see it shine, when all I've lived for becomes mine. This is the moment, my time is near. This day or never, I walk forever without fear. When I look back, I will recall, moment for moment, this was the moment, the greatest moment of them all. The greatest moment, moment of them all.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's my great privilege to extend a very cordial welcome to all who've joined us for this 245th commencement ceremony at Purdue. Before introducing the members of the platform party, I'd like to ask you to recognize the graduates from previous terms who are with us today, especially those who finished their degrees during the height of the COVID-19 pandemic in 2020 and have returned to celebrate with us in person today. Will those former candidates please stand? We're honored to have with us members of the Board of Trustees of Purdue University. I request they stand as I call their names and remain standing. They are Joanne Briette of Lafayette, Malcolm DeKreiger of DeMotte, and Mark G. of Johnston, Iowa. Please join me in greeting our trustees. We're pleased to have with us also, representing Purdue University's administration, the following individuals: Jay Ackridge, Provost and Executive Vice President for Academic Affairs and Diversity; Christina Wong Davis, Vice Provost for Enrollment Management; Catherine Sermershine, Associate Vice Provost, Dean of Students; Karen Plout, Dean of the College of Agriculture; Nancy Marchand Martella, Dean of the College of Education; Meng Shang, Dean of the College of Engineering and Executive Vice President for Strategic Initiatives; Linda Mason, Dean of the Graduate School; James Moeller, Associate Dean of the Graduate School; David Reingold, Dean of the College of Liberal Arts; Elizabeth McNeil, Dean of Libraries and School of Information Studies; Steve Bowden, Chair of the University Senate and our Grand Marshal this morning; Keith Guerras, Assistant Vice Provost and University Registrar, Chair of the Commencement Committee. Will you join me in greeting these individuals? We're pleased to have with us on the platform the other vitally important members of the university family: Lindsay Peralt and Michael Rakowski, our public orators; Kimberly Fournier and Myron Yoder, our sign language interpreters. Let's thank them for their service this morning. Now it's my pleasure to introduce today's guest speaker, Keith J. Kropp. Keith's career is a story of one giant leap after another, focused on creating value and improving the ways in which we live and the ways in which we work. He's an American businessman, Silicon Valley innovator, philanthropist, and public servant, noted for bringing transformational leadership in realm after realm: robotics, engineering, commerce, education, philanthropy, government, and even the way people sign documents. With a Purdue degree in industrial engineering and a Harvard MBA, Keith went on to become the youngest vice president in General Motors history at age 26. a founding member of the first of its kind analytical software company, RASNA, co-founder, chairman, and CEO of the world's largest commerce network, Ariba, chairman, president, and CEO of DocuSign, and most recently, United States Undersecretary of State for Economic Growth, Energy, and the Environment, a position to which he was unanimously confirmed by the U.S. Senate. The list goes on. On top of all these accomplishments, he's remained dedicated to giving back generously, founding and leading several foundations and other philanthropic organizations. And Keith was a Purdue trustee from 2007 to 13, serving 2 terms as board chairman. In 2006, he was named the Distinguished Engineering Alumnus by the Purdue College of Education and Engineering, and in 2018 was awarded an honorary Doctor of Industrial Engineering. Please join me in welcoming back today our friend, Keith Krop.
Thank you so much, Mitch, for that kind introduction. You know, it's a tremendous honor to be here. This truly is my happy place. And so for the class of 2021, and your parents, your families, and your friends, I just have one question for you. Is Purdue the greatest university or what? I love that part. And you know, I just had to do it because I'm recruiting my 10-year-old twins, Em and JD, to be Boilermakers. They're here with my amazing wife, Meta, who I now affectionately just call Facebook. Although I've had a long career since I left Purdue, it feels like I was just sitting exactly where you are now, wondering what my future would be. I also remember how excited and blessed I felt. My family, like so many of yours, had sacrificed a great deal for me to come here. However, since then, that blessed feeling has grown tenfold. And I can tell you, after 4 decades of being an alum, Purdue is forever your friend. Gil Gibran sums that up at Purdue friendship best. When you part from your friend, you grieve not, for that which you love the most in him may be clear in his absence, and as the mountain to the climber is clear from the plain. Well, as an undergrad, this mountain climber learned a lot of lessons here at Purdue. Let me share with you the most significant one. And I didn't realize it at the time, but now I see it with tremendous clarity from that plane. It's about 2 words, transformation and trust. And of course, being an engineer, I turned it into a single equation. Transformation to the power of trust, or simply T squared. Today, I just reverently call that the Purdue equation. And at Purdue, we learned any mathematical equation could be shown to be true by using a proof. So let me share my personal proof of the T-squared equation. It starts off in small town Ohio, where my father ran a machine shop and my mother was a teacher. At age 12, I became a welder in my dad's shop. In good times, he employed 5 workers. In tough times, I was his only employee. My father encouraged me to get some college knowledge and come back as an engineer to help him grow the business into a big company of 10 employees. While I did become an engineer, I never went back to work with my dad. But he was so proud I was a Boilermaker and just loved the fact that was also the name of his favorite after-work adult beverage. Here's to you, Pops. However, my dad never knew how terrified I was about not making it as an engineer, especially on that first day of school when good old Professor Barron meandered in and uttered, "This is engineering 100. Look to your left, look to your right. One of you won't be here in a year." Well, he was looking right at me. And anybody who doesn't think fear is a motivator hasn't taken Engineering 100 from Barony. And I was undeniably outgunned because I never got into those fancy high school honors classes, and I knew my competition on my right and my left had, because they told me. So I'm thinking, oh boy, I've just jumped in water over my head, and I better learn how to swim fast. It took all the courage I could muster to challenge my status quo, but it was a great lesson in transformation and trusting myself. And Purdue continued to provide me with plenty of opportunities to expand my comfort zone and take risks. I have Purdue to thank for that little voice in my head that tells me to go for it. And I've been doing it ever since. My transformational journey has been at high velocity with diverse adventures every few years. By living on the edge, I've experienced plenty of adversity and lots of opportunities to learn from my failures. And if there's anything I've learned, that's when you learn the most. Each new chapter builds on the last one and involves the risk of jumping in water over your head. After a while, that adrenaline rush becomes so addicting that I can't imagine my life without it. I call it scary fun. To quote one of the greatest transformational leaders of our time, the biggest risk of all is that we stop taking risks at all. And that's why the Wall Street Journal calls Mitch Daniels the most innovative university president in America. Amazing. It's also true in business. At DocuSign, we prided ourselves on being a major catalyst in a company's digital transformation. And I would always say on stage at our customer user conference, transformation is the most powerful word in any language, because without it, we don't develop, prosper, or grow. And if your company isn't transforming, it's dying. And the best way to control the future is to invent it. My life's work has been focused on creating innovative companies by building high-performance teams that challenge the status quo and empowering them to pursue opportunities and accomplish things they never imagined possible. I believe the team with the best people wins, and that diversity of thought is the catalyst for genius. And the results can be magical. I'm sometimes asked, Croc, where did you learn your transformational leadership skills? Was it at Harvard Business School? Was it when you were vice president of General Motors? I just smile and say, I learned it at Purdue. I'd love to see their reaction. And Purdue has always had an extraordinary track record of graduating transformational leaders of tomorrow. And my fellow Boilermakers, the world needs more trusted transformational leaders than ever before. And that brings me to the second component of our T-squared equation, trust. If transformation is the most powerful word in any language, then trust is the most important one. And when you take transformation to the power of trust, that's when the T-squared magic happens. So let me continue on with the proof of the equation. I was really proud a few years ago when the press wrote, all 4 of Croc's companies are considered disruptors that transform industries and became the clear market leader through category creation. Change is rarely easy. So when you set out to achieve transformational change of that magnitude, I found trust is the essential element. Whether it was in the 1980s, growing GMF into the largest manufacturer of industrial robots, even to this day, or in the 1990s, when Rasmussen's breakthrough mechanical design software forever changed the way engineers work, or 20 years ago, when Ariba invented B2B e-commerce, to move business at light speed and whose network transacts $3.7 trillion per year, more than Amazon, eBay, and Alibaba combined. I've certainly learned that whenever you're starting companies from scratch, people have to trust you, they have to trust your product, they have to trust your processes, and they have to trust your company. You know, another proof is even the way people sign documents, of course. For 10 years, I would tell our DocuSign employees, we're not in the software business. We are in the trust business because we deal with people's most important documents, and those are the ones that you sign. Trust is the basis of every relationship, whether it's business, personal, or otherwise. And you partner with people you trust, you do business with people you trust, you buy from people you trust, and you love people you trust. So today, DocuSign's Global Trust Network has 1 billion users and 1 million companies, and the name of the company, DocuSign, has become a verb. Why? Because of trust. And this is true on a global stage as well. Believe me when I say the world has some authoritarian leaders who are diametrically opposed to trust on a massive scale. The reality that we face as a nation is one of ever-increasing, even weaponized economic competition. In this high-stakes struggle between freedom and authoritarianism, other nations want and need America to lead because we remain a beacon of light and hope around the world. This Ohio boy began his journey welding parts and later had the good fortune of welding together billion-dollar companies. But even this dreamer could have never imagined that someday he'd be called upon to run U.S. economic diplomacy and have the opportunity to give back to this great nation, which has given so much to him and his family. So after experiencing that rare distinction Mitch was talking about being unanimously confirmed by the Senate as Undersecretary of State, my charge was to develop and execute a global economic strategy that drives economic growth, maximizes national security, and combats economic aggression. Now, as a lifelong businessman, it was no small risk on my part to leave my world in Silicon Valley and to serve in government. It was jumping in some deep water. But it turned out to be the most rewarding risk I've ever taken so far. I was given the advice that if I wanted a friend in Washington, I should get a dog. We already had one, so I said I did something better. I brought in a trusted team of battle-tested, high-tech, transformational leaders, which included a bevy of Boilermakers, like Mark Carlson, my lifelong business partner. Of course, the amazing Dean Mung, and Zara Larson, that young lady who sat right next to me in Barony's Engineering 100 class. Who would have dreamed that? One of our most urgent missions was to defeat the master plan to control 5G communications by an authoritarian regime. Their momentum seemed unstoppable, and it seemed inevitable. And if such regimes can control 5G, they'll not only have access to your cell phones and your personal data, but they can manipulate everything from utility grids to autonomous vehicles. And worse yet, your Facebook, your Snapchat, and TikTok dancing. Think about it, guys. All previous U.S. efforts had failed. Both sides of the aisle were hitting the panic button. Our aha moment came when we asked our foreign counterparts how the relationship was going with this authoritarian country. And they seemed to always say the same thing. Well, they're an important trading partner. And then they look both ways like somebody was in the room. They lean in, they whisper, but we don't trust them. That's when those bells went off, and that's when we made trust the core of our strategy. And what we end up doing is we built the Clean Network Alliance of countries and companies that end up representing 2/3 of the world's global GDP, which operate by a set of trust principles like integrity, transparency, reciprocity, respect for human rights, respect for rule of law, respect for property, respect for national sovereignty, respect for the environment. All those things together equal trust. And these are things that we honor in the free world, and authoritarian regimes do not. And they actually use them against us for their strategic advantage. So what we did in one jujitsu move, we turned the tables and used those very principles we call freedom against them. And in the process, we created a form of transformational diplomacy based on trust that integrates Silicon Valley strategies and traditional foreign policy tools, which is now known as tech statecraft. But perhaps most importantly, this nonpartisan model provided the unity and continuity of policy between Republican and Democratic administrations, which is so vital to our allies. And that's why I'm so excited to continue that journey by launching with Dean Mung, the Center for Tech Diplomacy at Purdue, which is fast becoming the world's preeminent institution for advancing freedom through trusted technology. So in closing, listen to what one of our country's greatest transformational leaders, George Shultz, wrote just a few months before he died last year. December 13th marks my turning 100 years young. I've learned much over that time, but looking back, I'm struck that there's one lesson I learned early and then relearned over and over. Trust is the coin of the realm. When trust was in the room, whatever room that was, the family room, the school room, the locker room, the office room, the government room, or the military room, good things happen. When trust was not in the room, good things did not happen. Everything else is just details. I can tell you, I feel a lot of trust in this room. So, as this climber looks back from the plane at our beloved mountain we call Purdue, where he learned to have the courage to jump in water over his head, he now sees with great clarity that he was never going to drown after all, because trust was the coin of the realm. And he now understands that that simple equation he unknowingly learned at Purdue is really a magic formula for making a difference in the world. A big difference, a little difference, but most of all, a meaningful difference. So what does transformation to the power of trust, or T squared, equal? It equals all things are possible, or infinity to the power of infinity, which good old Professor Barony once said is the biggest number in the world. So it's now up to you to jump in water over your head and make the transformational magic happen by trusting in yourself and building trust wherever you go. Come on in. The water's just fine. And you can trust there are a lot of us Boilermakers in there for you. May God bless you and your families on this great day. May God always bless the United States of America. Hail Purdue.
President, the candidates for master degrees will be presented by Linda J. Mason, Dean of the Graduate School.
Will the candidates for the master's degrees please rise? Mr. President, these students have successfully fulfilled the requirements of the graduate school. With the approval of the faculty, they are now presented to you to receive the master's degree.
Thank you, Dean Mason. Exercising the authority of the trustees of Purdue University, legally vested by the people of the state of Indiana, and upon the recommendation of the Purdue faculty, I now confer upon you the master's degree with all the rights, privileges, duties, and responsibilities of that degree. As evidence of this great achievement, you'll receive an appropriately inscribed diploma. I now invite the marshals to escort all students who are earning master degrees to the platform.
In order to respect everyone's opportunity to hear their name called, please refrain from applauding and cheering for your candidate until all the names have been announced. Bilal Abu Ghali.
Ivan Macias.
Safal Adhikari.
Justin C. Major.
Ritvik Agrawal.
Javid Martinov.
Jocelyn Aguilar Castro.
Jason Massey Sears.
Chelsea Albertson.
Stephen Matai.
Aisha Al-Khaldi.
Hannah Elizabeth McElroy.
Neelam Bali.
Amanda McKenzie.
Nathan Ballantine.
Yu May.
Nirmada Balraj.
Joel Mercado Reyes.
David Bambrick.
Shannon Meyer.
Justin Beckmeyer.
Robert Miner.
Abraham Bendek Sakata.
Mark Manning.
Justin Benden.
Martin Montenegro.
Alexander Bendoiro.
Hey Sue Moon.
Alyssa Besser.
Lauren Mulherin Gungoric.
Bryce Bitsy.
Megan Anna Marie.
Jennifer Blotkamp.
Mirnis Mustovich.
Christopher Bologna.
Isaiah Chishaila Mwambwa.
Todd Boruff.
Saichanda Reddy Naini.
Alex Bossert.
Andy Najafirab.
Mark G.
Jehun Nasibov.
Sarah Bowlin.
Oriol Navarro Pons.
Christine Bradshaw.
Ayada Nube.
Angela Brielle.
Cybargov Nimagata.
Megan Buckley.
Maria Catalina Nino Bernal.
Philippine Buson.
Mariah Nondorf.
Kristen Berger.
Gail Nosek.
Brendan Cassell.
Jacob Arel Nozel.
Gaia Cervini.
Jacob Nunez Carney.
Gavin Chamberlain.
Edward O.
CB Chandrasekhar.
Oscar Ojeda.
Kaylee Collins.
Michael Okanevich.
Kyle Cox.
Samuel Olson.
Miranda Christ.
Opiadura Osunbami.
Jack Davis.
Brian Paget.
Kayan Daran.
Maria Palmajani.
Alec Demery.
Supuria Pandey.
Leanne Demarest.
Song U Park.
Samantha Dishman.
Jacob Phillips.
Elizabeth Martin.
Maya Pfeiffer.
Sarah Ellis.
Sarah Pitts.
Ellen Engelhart.
Nicholas Politano.
Parker Faraci.
Tisha Powell Wayne.
Adrian Farr.
Akash Praharaj.
Krista Farrell.
David Quante.
Karsten Falstich.
Kiata Quinley.
Matthew Finn.
Manas Raman Menon.
Zachary Finn.
Ariana Rambaram.
Robert Fisher.
Arwind Ramesh.
Zontel Francis.
Alexander Ray.
William French.
Bihari Kiran Reddy.
Yuchi Fu.
Morgan Riegert.
Yue Fan Fu.
Anne Louise Roach.
Grant Gauthier.
Emily Dingmore Roberts.
Erica Garris.
Catherine Roth.
Joshua Go.
Rena Sabatello.
Ricardo Gomez.
Brian Sanders Smith.
Timothy Grasham.
Theodore Sergesketter.
Charles Guidarini.
Ashrita Rajagopal Settler.
Ufe Guo.
Pooja Shah.
Pratik Gupta.
Jessica Siebert.
Mikhail Hanna.
Audrey Janae Smith.
Avina Harry.
Benjamin Smith.
Megan Hedges.
Dong Ha Sun.
Andrea Hemmer.
Jessica Souter.
Killian Henricks.
Michelle Spansler.
Logan Hoysinger.
Janini Srinivasan.
Heather Lakeisha Hill.
Ashwini Srinivasa Prasad.
Jacob Alexander Hines.
Matthew Strakowski.
Bradley Hoover.
Srividya Subramanian.
Nijay Huang.
Siddharth Subramanyam.
Ryan Hurst.
Ji Shang Sun.
Omar Hussien.
Austin Suki.
Devanth Kumar Ilam Peruthi.
Heezer Tirmizi.
Brian Jaquette.
John Toakiza Tubon.
Rahul Jain.
Chase Troutman.
Nicholas Jobst.
Ranal Vadya.
Quinn Joyce.
Louise Villa.
Michael Kahush.
Rishi Wathiwa.
Simran Kaur.
Logan Walters.
Hokjun Kim.
Isho Wong.
Zach Kerwin.
Adam Werman.
Molly Creamer.
Zi Young Won.
Jessica Korniawan.
Lauren E. Werner.
George Ladyman III.
Colleen Westerman.
Katie Lalonde.
Joseph Howard Whaley.
Saming Lam.
Morgan Riley Whitcomb.
Tucker Landry.
Catriona White.
Convy Lee.
Laura Liz Williams.
Shaunen Lee. Jian Xian Lin.
Abigail Woodward.
Harry Lin.
Steve Marshall Wobon Kenfack.
Kuhan Leo.
Jingqi Wu.
Courtney Long.
Zihao Shu.
Adriana Lua.
Nathaniel Yarger.
Jory Lyons.
Yukon Ye. Ziao Yu. Connor Prince Yoon. Amna Zaim. Rachel Zarger. Zheng Wei. Senchu Zhou. Zhenghao Zhu. Daniel Zia. Di Shu. Alan Shea.
At this point in the ceremony, we give special recognition to those graduates who've demonstrated outstanding scholastic achievement. In the program, you'll find the names of graduates who have earned an honors designated degree by completing requirements of the Purdue Honors College, along with the criteria for awarding degrees with highest distinction and distinction. Will those graduates who are candidates from the Honors College please stand? Next, will those graduates who are candidates for the honor of highest distinction please stand and remain standing? And now will the graduates who are candidates for the honor of distinction please stand. Congratulations to you all. Also, we'd like to recognize those graduates who accomplished the monumental task of balancing their demanding academic and athletic commitments. You'll find our student athletes listed in the program. Will those graduates who have earned the Student Athlete Medallion please stand and be recognized? On behalf of the trustees and the faculty, congratulations on these very special accomplishments. We're counting on you to continue making exceptional contributions in all your future endeavors.
Mr. President, I am pleased to present the candidates for the baccalaureate degree. Candidates, please stand as I call your college or school and remain standing. College of Agriculture. College of Education. College of Engineering. College of Liberal Arts. Mr. President, these students have successfully fulfilled the requirements of the undergraduate curricula in their respective college or school. With the approval of the faculty, they are now presented to you to receive the appropriate degree.
I love this part. Exercising the authority of the trustees of Purdue University, legally vested by the people of the state of Indiana, and upon the recommendation of the faculty, I now confer upon each of you the appropriate degree with all the rights, privileges, duties, and responsibilities of that degree. As evidence of this achievement, you'll now receive an appropriately inscribed diploma. Please be seated. And I invite the marshals to escort all students who are earning baccalaureate degrees to the platform.
In order to respect everyone's opportunity to hear their name called, please refrain from applauding and cheering for your candidate until all the names have been announced. College of Engineering, Anna Anger.
The College of Agriculture.
Uditi Acharya.
Andrew James Thurman.
Brian Mitchell Adams.
Adriano Ayo.
Paul Adler.
Austin B. Berenda.
Leopoldo Aguirre Rivera.
Allison Taylor Binkley.
Muhammad Arif Ahmed.
Micah Black.
Aliyah Ahmed.
Abra Bohart.
Carl Akert.
Mia Bran.
Isabel Akian.
Rachel Irene Brent.
Ahmet Akaya.
Robert Brinkman.
Ferris Al-Kassim.
Daniel Brown.
Ryan Alcorn.
Alyssa Faye Francesca Cambra.
Kendall Allen.
Cassandra Claycamp.
Zachary Alton.
Mary Mackenzie Cloud.
Urpit Amin.
Melinda Dodson.
Jacob Anderson.
Logan Braden Drake.
Lauren Anderson.
Abigail Duggar.
William Andress.
McKenna Elsroth.
Benjamin Anthony.
Katarina Lee Emmerich.
Luis Eduardo Lechi Filu.
Allison Epstein.
Abhishek Aravind.
Sarah Feger.
Akshay Aravindon.
Ashley Fizikis.
Mitchell Arndt.
McKinley Flinders.
Hemant Aramagam.
Catherine Floor.
Emily Ashburn.
Ryan Fox.
Amy Adhikari.
Aubrey Fricks.
Unkit Uvlani.
John Gadberry.
Avneet Badwal.
Shelby Garcia.
Marco Baez.
Miranda Gatto.
Andrew Bai.
Grace George.
Gavin Besa.
Neha Ganapati.
Matthew Baker.
Samuel Hahn.
Michael Baldo Mero.
Anika Hatfield.
Aaron Balka.
Amanda Heidemann.
Vishnu Bana.
Brandy Henderson.
Viranch Batteriwala.
Michael Hendon.
Kelly Batke.
Audrey Marie Himes.
Robert Beck.
William Henshaw.
Andrew Beering.
Kalinda Havener.
Amir Beg.
Courtney Horvath.
Clayton Oliver Bennett.
Benjamin Howe.
Abubakar Bashir.
Cassie R. Jackson.
Mallory Benoit.
Dylan Johnson.
Timothy Benson.
Chris Jones.
Prem Banderi.
Danielle Jones.
Adam Berkemeyer.
Makina Jones.
Chad Blackwell.
Madison Kenyon.
Rihanna Blakeney.
Alex Ryan Kirby.
Isabel Block.
Nicole Klinger.
Mark Bobich.
Lydia Kowalski.
Sanjeet Boparai.
Trisha Krizel.
Ryan Andrew Boyd.
Carl Anthony Kroger.
Joseph Boyer.
Brooklyn Larman.
Jared Braden.
Wenbo Lee.
Matthew Brazel.
Travis Lineback.
Andrew Brennan.
Samuel Lovold.
Claire Brennan.
Brett Mandel.
Daniel Robert Breslin.
Adriana Mann.
Jacob Bridgewater.
Krista Marshall.
Benjamin Ross Brighton.
Grace McCoy.
Joshua Brumfield.
Michael McKee.
Emily Bulkowski.
Jenna Grace McNerlin.
William Burns.
Hannah Meringer.
Parker Bushy.
Julia McKenzie.
Cassandra Butler.
Selena Muller.
Isaac Biley.
Marina Neff.
Rebecca Cantrell.
Michaela Norton.
Feliciano Carinoy.
Carissa Neidiger.
Joseph Carlisle.
Jayla Madison Palmore.
Julia Carrillo.
Kayla Patterson.
Joseph Casella.
Tucker Pearson.
Paul Castagna.
Alyssa Petner.
Matthew Cave.
Audrey Pham.
Sadnik Chakrabarti.
Savannah Rambis.
Somalia Chakrabarti.
Patrick Reardon.
Yulin Chang.
Hannah Reed.
Chen Chen.
Jacob Ripberger.
Tiwei Chen.
Josephine Roberts.
Lohith Chitneni.
Mallory Page Runk.
Theodore Chu.
Kylie Rose.
Rithik Chopra.
Justin Roteach.
Safa Chowdhury.
Angela Jasmine Ruiz.
Sulman Chugtai.
Claire Schlomer.
Anna Sismaru.
Alex Schwimmer.
Matthew Ryan Clark.
Rami Shoup.
Garrett Clausen.
Trevor Sears-Potowski.
Quinn Cook.
Catherine Page Smith.
Jacob Corral.
Heidi Spear.
Keith Crawford.
Bailey Stack.
Thomas Crocker.
Justin Swafford.
Elena Cruz.
David Taylor.
Kendall Cuddy.
Natalie Taylor.
Ivan Shukowski.
Carolyn Lee Travis.
Artalu da Silva.
Kathleen Trimble.
Jonathan Andrew Damon.
Brady Two Bears Jr.
Zachary Danchek.
Ashley Eaker.
Artur Carrillo.
Lauren Underwood.
Jamie Leanne Davis.
Joshua Paul Wagenbach.
Zachary Dawson.
Hannah Wallace.
Sonak Debnath.
Drew Wenmacher.
Grant Deck.
Brenna White.
Anthony Dianocentes.
Sierra White.
Sierra Divanisha.
Brianna Winter.
Andre Diaz.
Brock L. Whitmer.
Ryan Drager.
Dalton Whitmer.
Alexander Dubin.
Jaylee Wondercheck.
Emma Duffy.
Shardecia Yard.
Rachel DeHart.
Alex Yergler.
Christopher Duncan.
Benjamin Rubino.
Zachary Dzicki.
The College of Education. Haley Queenlink.
Ryan Eastman.
Samantha Alanese.
Mohammed El Assad.
Nicole Ballinger.
Duhan Erelu.
Caitlin Bell.
Benjamin Connor Evans.
Sammy Bonnet.
Arif Fahim.
Madison Bricky.
Lucy Failer.
Grace Klein.
Shinny Fong.
Mackenzie Core.
Sebastian Rual Fernandez.
Madison Cox.
Julian Filipovich.
Ross Davis.
Maria Fisher.
Casey Ide.
Kyle Fishburne.
Gabriela Flores.
Ford Fisher.
Gabrielle Nicole Roy Gagnon.
Joshua Fitch.
Joshua Henderson.
Jared Fleischman.
Madison Humphrey.
Javier Flores.
Jacqueline Jadis.
Henry Fortenbaugh.
Caitlin Kunkel.
Alexandra Foster.
Allie Langfeld.
Paul Francesc Uck.
Olivia Lappin.
Samantha Friedman.
Eleanor McPherson.
Lucas Shi Fu.
Isabella Molina.
Marcus Fuller.
Paxton Muncie.
Avinash Ganesh.
Ashley Nix.
Winston Gao.
Jessica Peterson.
Anthony Guthura.
Samantha Sturgis.
Madeline Gavin.
Cassandra Thatcher.
Ruva Ghosh.
Michelle Vasquez.
Jacqueline Gerard.
The College of Liberal Arts.
Jeffrey and Yadek.
Owen Bowling.
Morgan Getz.
Andrea Axum.
Aaron Gold.
Vanessa Bach.
Samantha Rose Gomez.
Keaton Bartol.
Anita Gopal Rethnam.
Melissa Becker.
Aaron Gahors.
Bruno Bertolo.
Alex Goto.
Haley Bond.
Chase Gregory.
Bree Booms.
Charles Gray.
Griffin Bruns.
Sydney Arthur Grimm.
Sabrina Bujevsky.
Angelo Guarnero.
Christine Butcher.
Muhesh Gubi.
Kirsten Butler.
Nathan Jurgens.
Olivia Butts.
Florian Guttenson.
Zachary Capris.
Benjamin Hallett.
Taylor Cash.
Emily Hammond.
Jia Chen.
Michael Harrington.
Alina Chitty.
Noah Hellstrom.
Kennedy Marie Christian.
Brandon Hernandez.
Kevin Chun.
Lewis Hoke.
Leah Hope Chris.
David Hummy.
Patrick Lee Dellinger.
Chi Yin Hong.
Shi Chi Dung.
Ryan Hanwad.
Elena Derer.
Matthew Hope.
Yi Chen Dong.
Alec Hopkins.
Alyssa Downs.
Denoran Hu.
Xian Pa Duen.
Hanya Hu.
Abigail Lauren Eck.
Derek Huang.
Devin Edmondson.
Po Ying Huang.
Andrew Ficus.
Paige Hughes.
Sarah Farrow.
Mohammed Ibrahim.
McKenna Fitzgerald.
Derek Irawan.
Roxana Fraga.
Olivia Jackson.
Raul Garcia Granados.
Rushikash Jugana.
Tanner Garza.
Sahil Jaganumathan.
Summer Delilah Gershon.
Zachary Janicki.
Jada Gist.
Brian Jeffers.
Benjamin Gromowski.
Shivane Jetley.
Gabriella Hamill.
Jachen Jiong.
Kylie Haas.
Rabin Jiong.
Haley Hess.
Sungwon Jo.
Tyler Glenn Hewitt.
Alan Johnson.
Amanda Hinderleiter.
Nathan Johnson.
Jocelyn Holt.
Whitney Ann Jernell.
Quinn Kelly Houlihan.
Jade Julian.
Leighton Huber.
Davis Kamen.
Anna Isbell.
Vijayasundia Kamanadi Mintu.
Ariana Ivasico.
Singwook Kang.
Michaela Langley.
Ramagopal Karthankayan.
Dongyoung Lee.
Tai Keeley.
Esther Kunwai Lee.
Alexander Kellum.
Max Lee.
Catherine Kerr.
Bryce Logan.
Juliana Kirsten.
Abby McGirt.
Carolyn Kester.
Carmen Miklovich.
Safi Kayat.
Patricia Miskiniti.
Parsa Korasanizaye.
Michaela Mitchell.
Myung-hun Kim.
Macy Morgan.
Haley Kitchell.
Edan Nagar.
Blake Kitten.
Miracle Newsom.
Erica Kiersgaard.
Mark Palmirin.
Kenneth Klimak.
Luke Parent.
Nathan Cloco.
Jonathan Park.
Minsu Kim.
Olivia Pisowitz.
Maxim Komishon.
Caitlin Christine Plitt.
Sophia Corner.
Alina Pop.
David Kratzman.
Lindsay Porter.
Lisa Crozy.
Haley Powell.
Jessica Krawitz.
Julian Purvis.
Dylan Kriesheld.
Mateo Ramirez.
Ross Kimmel.
Nicole Marie Reisinger.
Isaac James Landstoffer.
Matthew Rusnak.
Brooke Lauterbach.
Catherine Scheibert.
Esther Lee.
Hannah Schuster.
Benedict Lee.
Nicole Saramet.
Ming Chen Lee.
Sarah Spears.
Samuel Levy.
Caroline Stapleton.
Denzel Lewis.
Alyssa Stockall.
Jean-Paul Liban.
Richard Toma.
Ignatius Liberto II.
Natalie Thomas.
Scott Lillig.
Alexis Tran.
Joshua Liming.
Corey Trice Jr.
Ching Yuen Lin.
Jordan Vargo.
Bushan Liu.
Mason Volpe.
Shuihan Liu.
Bethany Wagner.
Wang Ning Lo.
Margaret Walker.
Nicholas Love.
Joseph Walpe.
Kim Lowe.
Crystal Snow Webb.
Jessica Maddox.
Li Aowei.
Lakshay Mahajan.
Braden Williams.
Lalit Maharjan.
Haley Wilson.
Long Mai.
Zhongsha Ning.
Hunter Cole Melman.
Alyssa Zink.
Cody Mancini.
Kaylee Zrenner.
Dylan Manuel.
Priscilla Martinez.
Michael Mathau.
Nicole Thomas.
Ayush Mather.
And members of the Commencement Band, College of Engineering. Sophia G. Johnson.
Zachary McClary.
Cameron McGugan.
Thomas McCullum.
Joseph Navarra.
Tommy McDonald.
Lauren Nugent.
Matthew McGuire.
James Pepple.
Erica K. McNeil. Herschel Meadow. Mark Cedric Menciano. Kyle Miller. Tina Moe. Sarah Manning. Aidan Molnar. Leonardo Carvalho. Marvin Mui. Eric Malkin. Kyle Moeller. Srinath Nandakumar. Dominic Nashivovsky. Mohammed Nasmazi Rehman. Sayan Nang. Zachary Nelson. Alan Wynn. Haley Nitschke. Renee Noland. Zon Negraho. Katrina Ocampo. Cooper Ogle. Jaewon O. Shano. Alexander Olesker. Wesley Oliver. Zoe Osterloh. Patrick Oven. Umida Pandey. Juyan Park. Elizabeth Paz. Joseph Patel. Harsha Pavulari. Samuel Penrod. Huang Sen Fan. Anthony Fan. Rithvik Pillay. Charles Pichota. Nolan Pochekai. Margaret Pogue. Daniel Picorni. Anthony Polinsky. Ethan Pollock. Timothy Ponnell. Andrew Pratko. Kenneth Pritchard. James Pritchett. Junhyun Pyo. Ryan Quinn. Joseph Radovanik. Nathan Henry Putch. Yeah, that's fine. Jeff Radzik. Roy Ramirez III. Patrick Ramsey. Devansh Rathi. Ryan Redman. Sarah Riley. Lucy Rising. Marlena Reisinger. Brett Reeser. Gunnar Rich. Brandon Riebel. Caitlin Roberts. Jessica Rodriguez. Adam Michael Roars. John Rominger. Julianne Roser. Roger Rossix III. Leon Rubin. Matthew Rumpole. Hussein Seyfuddin. Claire Sale. Priyanka Sarunki K. John Salvis. Nathan Sanders. Zachary Santee. Akash Saravanan. Manu Saxena. Claire Shawalder. Andrew Schiller. Daniel Selvakumar. Kurt Sundek III. Kunming Shou. Runjai Shen. Yu Shen. Mondo Shibata. Evan Schreiner. Michael Simmons. Satara Simmons. Amin Sinhoff. Braden Sizelove. Dawson Smith. Sydney Smith. Matthew Spangler. Vikram Srivastava. Ryan Stein. Shane Steinel. Michael Stompanato. Michael Storrs. Michael Su. Haoyoung Suan. Michael Gregory Sust. Vaishnav Swaminathan. Julian Tesarzik. Yash Thakur. Trevor Thiele Sardinia. Jack Thomas. Bradford Thorne. Conley Kayono. Christopher Torres. Punkti Thakur. Colin Tosh. Matthew Tracy. Lena Trigg. Thomas Tramp. Kess Turner. Umazefe Udegebe. That's close. Ayush Udiavar. Nicholas Alurik. Jacqueline Ulmer. Mridula Okni. Praperna Upoderi. Jeffrey Van Spankeren. Preksha Viragavan. Jorge Martinez. Nikhil Sankar. Ainsley Vogt. Spiro Vrihas. Vyas. Benjamin Walbaum. Leonardo de Freitas Silva. Alec Wang. Christopher Wang. Wei Sheng Wang. Alexander Ward. Alexander Warner. Justin Weber. Yancha Wee. Nicholas Weisgerber. Abigail Werner. Joseph Widener. Ching Wen. Remington Wilson. Allison Sloan Wolf. Kyle Wolf. Brandon Walter. Timothy Wantor. Boyang Wu. Georgianne Wu. William Wyckoff. Peter Wynn. Lin Shu. Xiaolin Shu. Oscar Yu. Yua Yu. Xiaon Yue. Kevin Zelligson. Justin Zhang. Utong John. Itong Zhao. Hanju Zheng. Jimmy Zhou. Kang Thu Zin. Lin Cha Wang. Alexis Zovko. Cody Zaralik. Seth Chrysler. Vandana Pamilapati. Elise Mondragon. Is that it?
Okay, it's official. You are now graduates of Purdue University. Congratulations to our newest alumni. It's now time for you to observe tradition by moving your tassel from the right side of the mortarboard to the left. This signifies your new status and allows us to congratulate you once again. We honor these graduates for their hard work and accomplishments, but they'd be the first to tell us they did not make that journey alone. So, will the parents and grandparents, the spouses, brothers, sisters, other family members, and friends please stand so these graduates can thank you for your long and loving support. I direct your attention in the program where you'll find the name of the graduates who have been commissioned by the President of the United States as a second lieutenant in the United States Air Force, Army, Marines, and Space Force, and ensigns in the United States Navy. You may also have noticed some of our graduates wearing red, white, and blue cords. This signifies that they are currently serving or are veterans of the U.S. Armed Forces. Will those servicemen and women stand so we can recognize them and express our gratitude? I'd like to take a moment to acknowledge the artistry of the Commencement Band with conductor John Sweet and our organist, Jeffrey P. Stearns. Thank you for your contributions this morning. Now I'm pleased to introduce Austin Burenda, who was selected as today's student responder in recognition of his leadership in many student and campus organizations. Austin's receiving a Bachelor of Science in Agricultural Economics today and will enter basic combat training with the hopes of attending Officer Candidate School and serving as a member of our armed forces. Please welcome Austin Burenda.
Well, I'd like to begin today by saying thank you to President Daniels, the Board of Trustees, and the entire faculty and staff who have helped each of us get here today, with also a special shout out to the College of Ag. That's a family, I tell you what. It's an honor to be selected to share remarks with you today, and I'm humbled to be up here. Now, I always find it funny when I enter Elliott Hall of Music for a reason other than an exam. You know, typically, undergraduates walk in here with this deep pit in their stomach, laser focused on the content they've been studying for the past 3 days. And at this moment, I am very relieved to know that I will never have that feeling again. But at the same time, I'm also a little disappointed I won't have that feeling again. Okay, I did just say that. Moving on. In addition to the countless academic theories taught at this institution, I believe I've also taken away a few principles that pertain to our everyday lives. Don't be defined by anything but yourself, embrace your journey, and don't be afraid of the next step. Now, one thing I've learned from the Army is that some things are simply out of our control. Sometimes this means everyone does 100 push-ups because someone did not have their boots facing inward under their cot, and other times that may mean creating a terrain model in the pouring rain for your platoon. In either of these types of situations, it's very easy to harbor frustration about the things that are out of our control, but doing so only yields nothing productive and wastes time. Now, volunteering with the ROTC to help direct traffic before a basketball game a few weeks ago, I remember standing in the street with my orange wand, shivering as the snow began to pelt my face. And I was standing there thinking to myself, 4 more hours of this. All right. But from my spot on Beering Drive, though, just outside of Cary Quad, I looked north and I saw Ross Aid Stadium lit up, with the flurries creating a beautiful sight as they passed the light and fell between me and the glowing Purdue P. And in that moment, I thought to myself, don't be defined by your situation. Take control of your situation and define it. Now, I could not change the temperature or stop the snow, but I could change my mentality. Perhaps you have felt the need for this change, or a mentality change like this, because of a bad exam grade, or a loss of a friend or loved one, or maybe you're stuck in a global pandemic and work, education, relationships have become exceptionally more difficult for a reason you don't understand. Now, any of this could warrant quitting or settling for complacency, but Boilermakers make choices, weigh the consequences, and seek help as needed. That's right. Now, lived experiences are sometimes out of our control, but we can learn from, not be defined by, and redefine those experiences. So I've been a very non-traditional Purdue student in the fact that I never lived on campus, I never studied abroad. I took a gap year between high school and college, and I've worked both on-campus and off-campus jobs by taking a minimum of 19 credit hours. I earned an associate's degree from Ivy Tech because those courses transferred back to Purdue and allowed me to earn a bachelor's degree from Purdue in just 5 semesters. So my experience here was not conventional at all, and at first I thought that I was weird because of it, but it reinforced the concept in myself that I should embrace my journey and be authentically me, just as we all should do. Love who you want to love, worship who you want to worship, and be who you want to be. Thank you. Now, the third lesson that I think I took away from Purdue is that you should never be afraid of your next step. I recall on my first day of school freshman year taking a selfie on the way to the bus because my mother, hey mom, always wanted a first day of school picture, and I had no one to take a picture for me before my 7:30 a.m. calc class, so the selfie it was. On that day, I was terrified. The path to graduation was paved with many lectures and exams and study sections, and frankly, I didn't know if I could do it. Now, doubt may serve us at the beginning of our journey, but we must take that first step. Comfortable steps are easy, but life requires us to move out of our comfort zone often. So regardless of what the next step is, do not be afraid to take it. Because as I believe we are all well aware at Purdue, one small step can often be followed by a giant leap. Now, our Purdue degrees mean something different to everyone in this room, be it the end of a long journey or a new beginning, an opportunity for a job or an achievement originally deemed unattainable. As a Boilermaker for life, it represents a proof of community, a sense of unity, and a symbol of a family we will have with us no matter where we go. This world has a lot of problems that need solving, and the Purdue degrees that we earn today signify that we are more than able to be the ones to solve those problems. So I would like to challenge my classmates to not be defined by anything but yourself. Embrace your journey and don't be afraid of the next step. Trust in the world, trust in your God, and most importantly, trust in yourself. So as a proud Boilermaker sharing with you today, I say, God bless you all. God bless the state of Indiana, and God bless Purdue. Thank you.
And so we conclude our commencement convocation. On behalf of the trustees, the faculty, and all the Purdue family, I bid you farewell, Godspeed. Pastor Rodney Lynch will offer the benediction. Please remain seated afterwards while the candidates recess.
Let us pray and take a moment to just breathe and enjoy the silence. Holy and righteous sustainer, God of our breath, who has connected all humanity to the human race, enable us now to go forth and serve others freely as we implement what we have learned. Make us do your will with humble hearts, that we will play our part in making right all that is amiss in our community and this world. Reconcile us who are at odds with you and with one another. Transform and renew us by your gracious power and make us a people of service, devotion, honesty, integrity, and justice. Unite us, loving God, so that we would be an example of harmony and justice in a world that's torn by conflict. Reveal your will to us and fill us with the courage to live out your righteousness as a sign of your goodness, your love, and as a dedication to one another. And finally, God, reignite your power within us to do what needs to be done. Reignite in us a spirit of unity. Reignite in us the spirit to fight for righteousness and justice for all who are oppressed. Reignite and empower us to be a voice for the voiceless as we fight against those who would ignore them. Be with us, holy and all-powerful God, in this difficult task of building a united front that has meaning in our world today. We pray to thee with a sense of confidence in the future that the work that must be done, we shall be empowered to do. Now to the God who is able to do exceedingly abundantly above all we can ask or think, by the power that's within us, we go to transform this world for the better and to be a trustworthy people. Amen.